This is a snapshot of the air traffic in March 2020. And this is a month later in April. Air passenger numbers were 94% lower than the same period in the previous year due to COVID-19. With the world in lockdown, travel was one of the industries hit the hardest by the pandemic. And of course, this had an impact on my job security. Hello my fellow Muggles. I just want to start off today's video by saying to anyone who is watching this and recently lost their job, you are not alone in this, and I know exactly how you feel. And that is why I wanted to create this video series. The series is going to be about you picking yourself back up again and finding that dream job that is still out there waiting for you. I was recently made redundant because of COVID-19, and that's why I can 100% relate to everything that you are going through now. I therefore also know that what you really need now is a glass of wine. Obviously, drinking is not the answer, but having a glass here and there to take off the edge is okay. So pour yourself a glass and let's start planning how you're going to find your next job. Cheers! When you lose your job, it might feel like you are losing connections to people or a connection to a purpose, and that can be a very isolating experience. But there's actually so many people going through the same experience as you, especially now during the pandemic. You can even go as far as to say that losing your job is part of the new normal. During the pandemic, the increase in unemployment has been 10 times higher in the US than it ever was during the 2008 financial crisis. In the UK, over 600,000 people were dropped from their company's payroll between March and May, and over 9 million people were placed on furlough. I don't want these numbers to make you feel more negative. I want you to hear these numbers and realize that this was nothing to do with you or your personal skills and capabilities. Because face it, it's so easy to take this very personally and start to feel very unproductive. But we are all going to get through this, and we are going to be stronger on the other side. So now it's time for the tough love part. I'm giving you 2 days to feel sad, overwhelmed, and just stay in bed. Cry it out. But after those 2 days, you are going to dust yourself off and start working towards the next chapter in your life. I know it's really hard to get back into that positive mindset, so I'm going to share with you the tips that helped me. Firstly, you need a good support system. Talk to your friends and family about what you are going through. They're usually going to share advice that you didn't even think about, and you will feel so much better afterwards. Secondly, you need to stay active. Exercising is usually like a break from reality because you're not really thinking about anything else. You're just focusing on the activity. So it's a healthy distraction, and it also helps you to clear your mind. You'll usually be able to think about something in a completely different perspective after an exercise. The next one isn't really for everyone, but it is something that helped me, and it was doing meditation to encourage positivity. The meditation helped me to focus on the positive things in my life rather than to overanalyze and obsess over the negative things. I would also recommend that you stay busy and productive. It's easier for your mind to go into negative space when it's not being stimulated. So take on a new hobby or improve your current skills through doing online courses. That way, this period in your life won't be seen as wasted time. It's going to be time that you invested in yourself. My final tip is that we need to get that job search going as soon as possible. And I'm not gonna lie, finding a new job is actually a lot of hard work, and it can take quite some time. But lucky for you, I have a list of steps that you can follow to start your job search. Step number 1. Decide what role you are looking for. You might be thinking, this is an unnecessary step. I need to be sending out my CV ASAP. But wait. What about taking some time to reflect? Did you really enjoy your last job? Or is there maybe a new industry or a new profession that you would like to try out? Because this is the perfect time to do that. Once you've taken that time to really think about it, now we can move on to setting up your CV. I definitely recommend that you decide on the industry or the profession that you want to apply for first, because this can really influence the design of your CV and the information that you include in it. I'm going to create an in-depth video on how to put together a CV that will really make you stand out. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss those tips. Next, you need a cover letter. Even if a company doesn't ask for a cover letter, it looks really good if you add this in your application because it's already something you have that the other candidates don't. It can, however, be very time consuming to write a cover letter for every application. So my suggestion to you is to write a cover letter that is specific to the industry and the type of roles that you plan to apply for, but it's also generic enough that it won't just be applicable for one specific role. You've got all the documents ready, now we can start looking for those jobs. What you want to do is to set up job alerts for specific positions that you are after. That way you don't have to spend hours on all the platforms out there searching and scrolling through jobs. The jobs are going to come directly to you on a daily basis in your inbox. The platforms that I like to use for my job alerts are LinkedIn, Indeed, and CV Library. In setting up your job alert, also keep the location in mind. You don't want positions coming through to you that you won't be able to travel to. So remember to set the parameters on how far you're willing to travel. Of course, if you are willing to relocate to any location, you can keep this quite broad. Tip number 5 is that you set a goal for yourself for how many jobs you want to apply for every single day. Personally, my goal is to apply for 10 jobs every day because that gives me enough time to be very thorough with each application. The reason why a goal is a good idea is that you make sure that you are committed to your job search every single day, which means that you will find your job faster. I also like to keep a list of the jobs that I've applied for. That way I'm not applying for the same job twice, and if someone gets back to me and they don't include all the information, I can just always go check on my list what was the position, what was the company, so the list really helps. So those are my tips. I hope you found them helpful and that they will help you in your journey to finding your new job. The next few videos on my channel are going to be all about preparing your CV, preparing yourself for that interview. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want more tips. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped to make you feel a little bit better. And just remember, we are going to get through this. I'll see you guys next week.